What's going on, guys? Isaac Baylor back with a $1,200 PC build, and this is for mainly editing, but you can do gaming on there. This is a pretty good best of both worlds. I did try to keep it a somewhat silent build with the case. I'll just start with the CPU. For the CPU, I went with the AMD Ryzen 7 1700 3GHz 8-core processor. I went with this one because it has 8 cores, which will be really good for rendering. And I have AMD's old 8-core, or main 8-core CPU. And for a 10-minute 1080p video, it takes like an hour to render out. And this probably will do it in a third or fourth of the time. For the cooler, I went with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. This will give you amazing cooling for only about $25-30 bucks, depending on where you buy it. And you can do a little bit of overclocking on here as well, but if you just want like a good but not stock CPU cooler, then that would be the one I could get. But if you wanted to keep the stock cooler that comes with the 1700, and you could throw in some more money maybe on the motherboard, or maybe either the storage or the case, and get a higher quality case, even though this one is very high quality. But onto the motherboard. For the motherboard, I chose an MSI B350 Tomahawk ATX AM4 motherboard. I went with this motherboard mainly because all the other components are like black/gray, and this one fit in really well. It has 4 corners of RGB, 4 RAM slots up to 64 gigabytes. Let me check. Yeah, 64 gigabytes up to 3200 DDR4 RAM. 4 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, onboard Ethernet, and onboard USB 3 headers. It does support Crossfire, but I don't know anybody who'll really just Crossfire 580s. Not buy just like a 1070 or a 1080. For memory, I went with G-Skill Ripjaws 5 series 16 gigabyte, 2 8 gigabyte sticks of DDR4 3200 memory. This will offer you great for gaming because most games only need at max 8 gigs. But for editing, you need more RAM. If you really wanted to and save the money from the Hyper 212 Evo, you could probably upgrade this to 32 gigs of memory if you're like really gonna get into editing. But 16 gigs will be enough. For the SSD, I want the Kingston A400 240 gigabyte 2.5 inch solid state drive. This will offer you great performance all around, and I can't really say anything as an SSD, but it'll offer you great performance. And I went with the 240 gig mainly because if you're going to be editing, it's easier, it's faster editing if you have like all your files on an SSD rather than on a mechanical hard drive. But as like an archive, or if you just want to keep all your footage on a hard drive, I put in a Seagate Barracuda 2TB 3.5 inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive. If you wanted to up the SSD to like a 480 gig and just have an SSD, which I probably wouldn't recommend just because you'll have only 480 gigabytes of storage, then you could do that, or you can even upgrade this to 3 terabyte if you wanted to. Now for the video card, some video cards, they're out of stock because of mining and stuff, as I said in the last video for the $800 PC build. But this is a ROG Strix, which gives you RGB, all this stuff, and it's from Asus, which is a great quality brand. I haven't even seen what graphics card it was yet. I went with the Radeon RX 580 8GB ROG Strix Asus video card. And the core clock on it is 1.26 gigahertz with a boost clock of 1.38 gigahertz, TDP of 185, and 2 display ports, 2 HDMI, which I really wish I had the 2 HDMI because I don't have a DisplayPort monitor, but this will offer you great gaming performance, great editing, and 3D modeling performance. And it's $280, which is kind of expensive, but seeing how none of the other cards are in stock, and this is an ROG Strix one, which is like the top of the line, that's a pretty good price. For the case, I went with the fractal design Define R5 Blackout Edition with the window, just because I kind of went with like an all black, so I figured it might look cool. You can get the one without the window, but this one has a 5¼ inch, has 5¼ inch base, and it's kind of like a silent one, if you classify a case with the window silent. But then this will offer you all the airflow you need, all the expansion slots that you need. Has 2 5¼ inch bays, 2 internal 2.5 inch bays, and 8, yes, I said 8 internal 3.5 inch bays if you have a lot of hard drives for videos and old camera crap and stuff like that. For the power supply, with the EVGA Supernova Next 650 watt 800 or 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply. This is a good power supply for only $75. It's fully modular, gold certified. It'll give you all the wattage you need, because this system at max will only take maybe 400 watts at most, maybe a little bit more if you overclock stuff. But that power supply should suit you for now on, because graphics cards and CPUs are only getting more efficient. And since I went with the Fractal Divine R5, I figured people or editors probably need their camera, who have SD cards, they need to put that stuff on their computer without having a bunch of cables. So I went with the Rosewheel 5¼ inch SD card reader, which you can just stick in a 5¼ inch base slot. It's only $15 on Newegg, so I figured that's a pretty good deal for what it is, essentially just a card reader. And that was about the cheapest, like, quality brand one. So hopefully y'all enjoy this build, and check out some more videos. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Anyway, have a good day.